Hey everybody, it's Kathy here with McCrafty Studios, and I am coming on for a quick update video, just to kind of show you what I've been working on and what I've been stitching. I have some finishes, I have some finished stitches, I also have a couple of new starts, and of course my favorite part, I'm super excited for this update. I will be going to a stitching retreat next week. Today is September 7th, I believe. Yeah, September 7th, 2025. And so yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get started with my full finishes. I don't believe I said in my last video what my goals were 2025 were. Basically my goal is to have 25 full finishes and also 25 finished stitches for the year of 2025. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and get started. My first full finish is this right here. This is actually a sunset kit. I finished stitching this in 2005. It was in my drawer to be fully finished. I purchased the finishing piece at Hobby Lobby. It's no longer available. And it is a kit, I think it's from the early 2000s. I am going to do a full finish I can't even talk now, a full finished object video on this particular piece, but I really like it. It was stitched on Ada. It was the kit fabric, the kit threads, and but I think it turned out really cool and it's really pretty. So I have been really excited to get a lot of my other stitches fully finished. That way I can get them out on display and enjoying them. So I'm going to pause here for just a second and I'm going to get my next full finish. Okay, my next full finish is Bower Birds. This is a pattern by Hello from Liz Mathews. And I finished stitching this in 2023. I fully finished it in 2025. I stitched this on a 36 count Arctic Glacier by, I think it was Seraphim. Yeah, Seraphim Fabrics. Sorry, I had to look at my notes. And this was stitched with Swatage color 1745. This picture frame came from Hobby Lobby, and it wasn't from the frame department. It was just a regular picture, and I painted over it, distressed the paint, and this is how it turned out. The picture itself actually was the perfect width for this particular piece, and what I did was I just lengthened these flower wheat stock, I'm not sure what it is, just so it would fit the actual picture. And I am going to do a full finish object video on this as well, and at that point I think I have a picture of what the original piece looked like before I framed everything up, and I will have that included in the video if I still have that. But I'm very happy with this, and I think it turned out great. And my third fully finished object is Superbloom Bouquet by Pickens. I actually started this. This is a 2025 Needlework Market release. It came out, I believe, in March. And as I said in my previous video, I've been really into flower stitching. And so I got this kit, one, because I like the design, two, it had Cosmo threads. And so I picked up the pattern and the Cosmo threads from Pat Quarter Shop. And there were two substitutions I had to make for DMC, but otherwise it turned out just beautifully. And I am also going to do a full finished object video on this as well. And actually I had picked out a frame from Hobby Lobby, and I had already painted it and distressed it. And then I knocked it off the table and it bent the corner because it wasn't real wood. I don't know what it was, but anyway, I thought, you know, I'm not gonna waste all the lacing and everything that I had done for this particular picture. So I will, so I just took it into the frame shop at Hobby Lobby, and then they measured it. I picked out this frame from the frame shop, and I did frame it myself. But I just ordered it from there, and I loved how it turned out. So this was stitched in 2025 and fully finished in 2025. And I have a few finished stitches. Because I'm going to a retreat, a lot of my stitching was devoted to the smalls exchange, and my personal tradition is to do one for the recipient and one for myself. So I actually got those pieces done, and after the retreat I will be showing the item, the small, in my next video, and I'm also doing a fully finished object video for those pieces as well. But I did finish a couple of stitches, and I have been working on Christmas ornaments. So this is Joyful Santa. It's a charm Santa face by Mill Hill. It's an older design, and this is not fully finished, but it is fully stitched, and it turned out really cool. So on these particular stitches, you don't necessarily need those frames that I showed from the last video because they're not 6x6. And then the next Santa, it'll take me a minute here to switch everything out. The next Santa is called Charming Santa, and this came out, it says 2002. And I already have a full finished, I already have an idea on how I'm finishing these. And then there's six in this set. And then you usually stitch the Santa faces separately from the little hat. And so the kit is maybe like a 3x3 kit. Santa is called Twinkle Claus. And here's my stitched piece. Turned out really cute. The next Santa that is fully stitched and beaded is Santa Jingles. And there he is. And the next two, like I said, there were six in the series. And I have these stitched, but I don't have them beaded yet. So I will show the progress on that. So hopefully, well, they will be, these pieces will be actually fully finished. And I plan on getting these fully beaded this week, actually, before I leave to go to the retreat. And then let me show you a picture of the pattern. And this one is Father Frost. It's very cute. Again, there he is. And then the sixth one is Santa Noel. And this is just, I still need to bead it. But actually it takes maybe a day to finish beading these. I mean, once you have your stitches and stuff in. They're actually a really quick stitch, believe it or not. The perforated paper, like I said, you don't need a specific frame. It's fairly easy to just hold it in your hand and stitch away. I like taking, I'm actually starting to really appreciate taking paper stitches, or stitches that are on paper, because they're very convenient to have at my desk. I can just leave them there at work, and then on my breaks I can put in a thread or two, and it actually goes quite quickly. So give me a moment here and I'm gonna reorganize and I'll be right back. Hello again. I'm gonna go ahead and go into some of the starts that I had. After I finished Superbloom Bouquet, I went ahead and started Summer Garden by Birds of a Feather. This is a pattern that has been redone, remastered by the Colorado cross stitcher, Sherry. And I am stitching mine on the 32 count Fiber on the Whim Cream and Sugar. And this is my start. So it's a little bit bigger. I think her original was on a 40 count fabric. And actually I made a mistake. So there's a little bit of a color change and I didn't realize it. I was watching TV. And I'm just gonna go with it because it's actually, this little stripe here was a different color, but I like how it's turning out. I like blues and greens. That's usually what I gravitate towards doing. So I'm gonna just leave it as is and continue on. My next start or stitch, it's not really a start, it's kind of a restart. Now I think I showed this, I don't know how many videos ago. I know it was sometime in, I believe 2024 and or early 2025, I can't remember, but it's part of the Blooming Roots series by Stitching with the Housewives. I started this on a 25 count Heritage, and it was 1/1. I had a finishing idea in mind. I'm only stitching the house. I'm actually stitching not just the house, but also the flowers and things that go around it because I really like the designs. So this was my original start. And if you can tell, the white seems to get lost on this as well as the pink. And then the white that was used was, let's see, Vanilla Custard, and then Blushing Beauty seemed to get lost on this particular fabric and I wasn't too happy with it. So I decided to restart it. I'm doing it on 20 count Ada 1/1. And I am using, I believe, Gray Spinel by Fiber on a Whim. And this is, I started a different one. I started Wild Rose Lane. Trying to get it to where I won't glare. And then this is my start. And I'm liking this a lot better. It seems like the colors are popping a little bit more. And hold on. There we go. So my thread, I hadn't pulled it all the way through, if you saw that little loop there. I have a particular finish in mind, and then when I went to go look for Priscilla's Pretty Plaids, it seems like I don't know if they're coming out with a new fabric line or whatever. I didn't really get the memo. So I got the gray and white Pretty Plaid, and of course I got this from Fat Quarter Shop. And I thought that this particular line was part of their basics. I don't know how many years it's been in production or whatever, but it's been kind of hit or miss on the different fabrics, whether it's Chelsea's checks. A lot of Chelsea's checks are hard to find. Priscilla's Pretty Plaids, and then also I think she had some polka dot ones and some stripes. And I don't recall hearing anything in any of the videos about those being discontinued. So hopefully they'll come out with another line. But I thought that this would go great with my finishing, because this will be the finishing background, and then the gray spindle will be what it's stitched on. So that is that. So I had to restart on that one. And then my next one, this is kind of getting into new purchases. I did purchase Queen of the May, Elizabeth Stephenson, 1854. It's the 2025 Queen of the May. Now, as I said previously, and I've said in other videos, I gravitate more towards blues and greens. I love reds, don't get me wrong. I have all kinds of different colors in my house, especially when you change out for the seasons. But I decided to convert this to blues. So I will let you know how things are going, but I think so far so good on this so far. I think it's turning out beautiful. So there's my minimal start, and I will keep you posted on that progress. Hopefully, because it's September, I am going to work on this sampler. So for September for me, it's start some samplers. Maybe that should be a hashtag, start some samplers. But I am doing that for that particular sampler. And that is a new purchase on the since I saw you guys the last time. And now I'm getting into the portion of some new purchases. I didn't go crazy because I'm going to another cross stitch retreat, and then I will finish up with some plans. I was watching Nicole's floor, and she did the mystery up on the rooftop stitch along with not stitching with the Housewives, with Fat Quarter Shop. And this is what it looks like. It's super cute. It's free. So go to the Fat Quarter Shop and you can download that particular pattern. I am going to be doing this on a 20 count Black Ada, and I purchased the thread pack for it. It is all classic colorworks. So that's a new purchase. And then because I've been getting into some ornament stitching, and my goal is to have 25 completed stitches. So I thought I'd maybe do some ornaments. Last year I purchased Counting Puddles snowflake sheep ornament. It was actually released, I can't remember what year, in the cross stitch ornament special edition release, that magazine. And then she came out with two other ones. It was the snowflake goat, and then also the snowflake llama. Now these were purchased last year, but what I did purchase was the Trinway silks that she used, and so I ordered that. So this is what's new. So I'm using those silks to complete those ornaments. And again, that was from Trinway Silks. And if you have that pattern and would like to get the silks, just go to www.trinwaysilks.com. It's all together. Another new purchase that I received, I'm part of the Dying to Stitch Sampler Club. And this is Rachel De La Rue 1825. It's a Guernsey Channel Island antique sampler reproduction. And it is by Cross Stitch Antiques. So it comes fully kitted, and it came with a 36 count Patriot sprue, and then all the called for threads. So this is a sampler, and this is also one of the samplers I anticipate starting during September. I also purchased some fabric. I got 36 count Cactus Wren by Fox and Rabbit. It's really kind of hard. It kind of shadows out, but it's a beautiful fabric. Kind of blows out, I guess. And then there was a pattern that was coming out for Needlework Market that you needed the beetroot, and I'm looking at this, and I thought I ordered 36, but it says 40, it's fine. I stitch on either one, but this is beetroot. It's a really pretty purpley fuchsia color, and that's by Fox and Rabbit. Actually, so it says fabric 40, but then it says 36 beetroot linen. So I did order 36, so it does have fabric 40 on here. I ordered it from Lindy Stitches. So anyway, either way, it's fine. because I stitch on everything. I tend, after I work a long day, I prefer to kind of stitch on kind of bigger count. Well, not bigger counts, but if I'm kind of tired, I kind of prefer to stitch on Ada or 28 or 32 count linen, just to kind of give my eyes a break. I also purchased one more pattern. It's Channing Street by Annie B's Folk Art. I thought that was kind of a cool sampler looking thing. And then I splurged and I got this portfolio from Creative Carol. I like peacocks. This is a Tula Pink fabric, and it has a zippered pocket right here. And then on the inside, it has your thread bed and a place to put your needles. Right over here. And then there's another zippered pocket here. There's also a pocket right on the inside here, right here. I feel like I was a little awkward when I was showing all that, so I might cut some of that out. And then it comes with a handle. But it is very well made, and it's one of their super portfolios. And yeah, I really like that. A couple other things that I worked on. Last year when I was at the Crazy Woman Stitching Retreat, I won a door prize, and it was for a board game, Stitchopoly. And I'm still in the process of working a mixed media project with the items and stuff in there. I didn't quite get that finished for this next retreat. But I did take some of the cards and create floss tags. I don't use these, but I thought it would be a cool way to use some of the items in the thing, because most of it is going to be used in my mixed media project. And just to kind of show you a few of those. I feel like it's showing in the hand. And then I will be giving those out at the Cross Stitch Retreat. I can't decide if I'm going to give it, I might offer it to my table mates to see if they want it. They don't have to take it if they don't want to. And then the rest I'll probably put on the freebie table if anybody wants those, because some stitchers use plus cards. The next section I'm going to go over is plans. And since it is September, I am going to start a few samplers. So I purchased, this is a new purchase. I couldn't wait for this to come out. As Julia Rachel de Lamar. And I just loved all the flowers on here. And I picked up the pattern. And then I couldn't decide because I gravitate towards blues. I was considering the, it was True Blue by Fox and Rabbit, or Prehistoric. These were a couple of fabrics from my stash that I was going to consider for, for the project, because the threads were going to look amazing on this. So here are a few of the threads. Either way, but because of some of the blues that were in there, I was kind of leaning towards the Prehistoric. But then I did a stash dive, and I come across this 40 count sandstone by Red Thicket, and this is the fabric that I decided to go with. It's actually just beautiful with all of the threads. I'm going to kind of arrange it to make it look a little bit prettier. A smidge more organized. Then just to kind of give you an idea on what it's going to look like with all of those threads. So I preferred this. But like I said, I was gravitating towards the blue. But on here, there were some blue areas. Like these flowers, part of the butterfly, a couple other things. So I felt like those blue colors were getting lost on the True Blue fabric that I had originally picked. And then The prehistoric, it was kind of nice, but then when I put the threads against the sandstone, I felt like the sandstone out of the three was the better choice. So those three fabrics were in my stash. And I did order the pattern directly from the designer Cross Stitch Antiques. And that came in the mail. And then I went online to 123 Stitch and I ordered all of the threads. Now there was a mistake in you know how you can click, when you pick a pattern, you can click like the fabric and then all of the threads that are associated with that particular pattern. There was a mistake. They may have since corrected it, but some of the threads didn't match up even with the DMC conversion. And I didn't order both. I ordered the, I think it was just the overdyed cottons. And so it wasn't the complete list. So it wasn't accurate. So I had to fill in and order, which, you know, got me an opportunity to order a couple other things. So, but the threads that were listed on the 123 Stitch for this particular design at the time that I ordered wasn't completely updated. So just a FYI on that. The next sampler that I'm gonna do, I believe I already had this. Yeah, I did. I mentioned it in my last floss tube. So I am planning on starting GH 1857. I already have it all kitted up and ready to go. So that's a plan for September. And then my next sampler that I would like to start, Sampler Bird Stitchery, is Blessed Are the Merciful. And this is the first kit that came from the Dying to Stitch Club. This is the first sampler that came in that kit, and it's so pretty. So that's one. And then last year I had plans to start the Bridget Power 1840 by DGR. Now this particular pattern, this is the copy, or the picture of the antique. And I will tell you that this picture does not do it justice. I'm only going to do the top part, the flower part. But it's actually really pretty. So I have that all kitted and ready to go. I'm going to start that this September. And then to kind of get into some fall stitching, I showed you the vintage cats last video. It was by Teresa Kogut, and I'm looking for it now. I had it marked, and now that I'm already thought I had it marked, and clearly I didn't. For goodness sakes. Here we go. So these vintage cats. And I said that I was going to do mine on purple fabric. So I went through my stash and I picked out a 36 count plum by Fiber on the Whim. And then I picked out the DMCs because the DMC that she had picked out, she had one overdyed, but they were to coordinate with the orange fabric that was stitched on the model. That is what it called for, but I picked out my own purples. There are a couple different purples. It doesn't call for all of these, but I didn't know, like once I got stitching, which one I would prefer. But this is the plan for that and for my fall stitching. And I think that about covers it. So not a whole lot of haul, not a whole lot of stitching. I mean, actually a whole lot of stitching, really. I was really pleased that I got both smalls done for the retreat. I'm excited to show you guys the final finished object. I'll be showing mine in my next video. I will also do a fully finished object video for that. but yeah, I'm looking forward to all of the stitching. I'm looking forward to stitching in Wyoming, and I think that about covers everything. So thank you guys for stopping by, and please like and subscribe. I do appreciate everybody who has commented and subscribed, so thank you so much. And I will see you in a few weeks after the retreat. So I'll give you an update with that and an update with my stitching, and I will see you soon. Bye.